Unfortunately, by the end of this 10-minute speech today, 280 girls under the age of 18 will have been married off to adult men. That is one girl, someone just like any of us, married every 2 seconds. Why is it that over 200 million girls and women alive today have undergone the atrocity that is female genital mutilation, with 3 million at risk of being affected annually? Why must 2.3 million adolescent girls and young women worldwide be forced to live with HIV? Everywhere we look, it seems that there is injustice after injustice being suffered by so many women, and sometimes it's hard not to get overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the problems that we face. However, there are steps that we can take and that we must take. Change is not impossible if only the resources can be provided. And today, I would like to share with you all stories of hardship, of inequality, but above all, stories of hope. The first story is about 2 women. These 2 women don't know each other, but their stories are very much connected. The first woman is named Apayo. She is a mother of 5 who owned a clothing business in Nakuru in Kenya. She was brutally raped during the political unrest of 2007 and 2008. As a direct result, she lost both her husband and her livelihood, and she now lives in poverty, supported only by the goodwill of her in-laws. Apayo is an innocent victim. The second woman is known only under her pseudonym, Emily Doyle. She went to a party on the night of January 17th, 2015. She too was raped, but this time the perpetrator was caught. His name is Brock Turner, and he was sentenced to only 6 months in jail. In her victim impact statement to the court, the young woman admitted that she can no longer sleep alone at night without having a light on, like a 5-year-old. Emily, too, is an innocent victim. These women, and many others all over the world, have suffered at the hands of rapists. However, there is a hope that can be taken from their stories. Emily Doe said in her statement to the court, "I want to say thank you to the nurses who calmed me, to the detective who listened to me, and to my therapist who taught me to find courage in vulnerability." Resources, when provided, can help victims to survive their ordeals, and they can be made available at both a personal and national level. In Kenya, where, along with Apayo, 900 women were raped during the political unrest, a fund was announced in 2015. This $96 million fund aims to help people who were directly affected by the violence and to provide much-needed healthcare and assistance to all those who need it. As Emily Doe said herself, "To girls everywhere, I am with you." The second story is about a woman named Margaret Nyeru, also from Kenya. She ran away from home at the age of 16 due to an unstable family life, and she became a commercial sex worker. By the time she was 17, a similar age to a lot of us here today, she was receiving regular treatment for STDs, and by just 18, she had given birth to a baby girl. Around that time, she began to hear about AIDS, but she ignored these warnings as she did not believe she was at risk. She then met a woman named Sarah, a fellow sex worker, who she became excellent friends with. However, Sarah contracted AIDS. Shocked by the severity of this illness, Margaret and some of her friends began a women's support group, which then set up a business to generate income. With this extra money, Margaret was able to move out of her home and discontinue contact with her former clients. Suddenly, however, Sarah was admitted to hospital, where she passed away 2 weeks later. Although devastated by the loss of such a great friend, Margaret now looks after Sarah's orphan son, and she gives talks educating sex workers about the dangers of AIDS. We can all agree that the clear lesson to be learned from Sarah's untimely death is this: education is a vital resource for women to help them to protect themselves. Vital for men, too, so that they can become aware of the signs of HIV. In cases such as these, knowledge is power. In Kenya alone, there are approximately 830,000 women aged 15 and over suffering from HIV/AIDS, just like Sarah. There are also 660,000 children orphaned there due to AIDS, just like Sarah's little boy. There is no cure for this disease, but its spread can be prevented through increased access and investment into medication, contraception, and sex education. The third and final story today is about a young woman who defied all odds and rose up in support of education for girls. Her name is Malala Yousafzai. She was originally from Swat in Pakistan, but is now living in England. She was forced to move country when she was shot by the Taliban on October 9, 2012, simply for wanting to go to school. Miraculously, she survived this, and she became the youngest person ever to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize at just 16. Malala's struggle shows just how hard we should all fight for more educational opportunities for women, as it would be a major step towards ending inequality. A mother's education improves her child's nutrition, thereby decreasing child mortality rates. Education also narrows the pay gap. In Pakistan, where Malala is from, women with a secondary education can earn up to 70% of what a man earns, which improves the economy since women, and therefore families, have more money to spend. However, above all of this, women and girls deserve to be educated for no other reason than we are human. Education is a basic human right and is the foundation upon which a better society can be built. As Malala herself said, one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. All of these stories and struggles are linked by one defining factor. They were caused, amongst other things, by a lack of access to resources. In the case of Apayo and Emily Doe, there was not enough legal aid given to them. For Margaret, a lack of access to funding and healthcare. And for Malala, and many young girls like her all over the world, school is not a daily chore, but an ideal that can only be dreamed of. We are facing a worldwide problem that will require a worldwide effort to solve. Resources must be better distributed to all countries if we can ever hope to achieve true equality. There are many steps that can be taken to achieve this. An example must be set by world leaders who could, for example, pool money from various countries to invest in vital infrastructure such as schools and colleges. Institutional reform in legal matters is needed in all countries. Judges and police must be adequately trained to protect the rights of women. A global effort is vital because, although there are many barriers facing women all over the world, women in developing countries need more help than those living in developed countries. Therefore, political commitment and accountability from governments is crucial if any ground is to be made in helping women and girls who truly need it. We can see what needs to be done, so what's stopping us? Change is always difficult to implement, but with a combined effort, change is achievable. It is our moral duty to do what we can to promote equality wherever we can. To quote feminist Susan B. Anthony, "The day may be approaching when the world will recognize woman as the equal to man. Let's begin to distribute resources in order to help women and girls to help themselves. Let's not wait. Let's begin." Thank you.